They can't even get married. You can't even find love because you're stateless, you know, because you're stateless, then your child becomes stateless, and you don't want to put a little baby in that position. They exist, but they don't exist. So they are dependent on us to be their eyes, to be their nose, to be their feet, to walk, to be their voice, to speak, to be their hands for action. You know where you belong. A stateless person doesn't belong anywhere. Music is very powerful. It can change your mood from happy to sad. It can give you all the moods in the world, depending on the lyrics in the song. And it has the ability to change minds so that we all together, you know, we all together can push and then give stateless person the help that they need.
In terms of sovereignty, sovereignty bases itself, not its principle, but definitely the platform, on the idea that there is one unique group.
Right.
What is the unique group that the nation was seeking sovereignty for? Was it African Americans, or were we still Black back then? We just moved from colored, right? I'm thinking back to where I was, because I heard Jesse Jackson say something years ago, and then he repeated it in a conversation that we had one-on-one, because I asked him about it. The comment he referenced, and you've talked with him, you know, the comment he referenced was, we don't know each other, that we are, and the we he was speaking of was people who identify as African American. We don't know each other. So how was the nation building a sovereignty amongst people? Was it to spread the news, you know, the guys with the bean pies and the papers on the corner?
That was
or
me.
We definitely didn't have internet back then, okay?
Right.
In my hometown, we didn't have the corner for the bean pies. I didn't find out about that until I went to university in Greensboro, North Carolina. But you get the question that I'm going at. What was the sovereignty? Because for most of us, no, let me qualify myself. Let me be appropriate. For me, growing up in the South, I didn't even know a Nation of Islam until I reached university and heard about them. Was quite afraid of the idea until I got excited about Angela and Huey's afros, and they made such a big fashion statement to college students that drew our attention to the message underneath the hood. But that sovereignty thing, where was the population for that gonna come from?
Well, you know, it's interesting that you bring that up, because I think the theology, the concept of, you know, the white man being a grafted devil, the belief in a mothership, a lot of the dogma that existed within the faith. Remember, Moses talked to a burning bush, right? So I think it has prevented many people from looking under the hood of that movement and how it was derived and what it meant. Yes, there was clearly some cult and mysticism involved, but getting back to the theology, it was the lost found Nation of Islam in the wilderness of North America. And the efforts of Elijah Muhammad and the leadership.
Hold on one second. You may be going there. I want to make sure you do. Many of our listeners are young adults throughout Europe as well, and other countries. So I need you to identify the Islam we're speaking of, because Islamic faith comprises different sects for the period you're speaking to. I don't want you to premise a conversation on something that many of the Islamic followers of Islam across the world today would be confused about what you're saying.
That's so important.
Like the bean pie thing.
Right, it's so important. And of course, as El Hajj Malik Shabazz, Malcolm X, discovered when he made Hajj, was that the teachings that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was putting forth in America were not consistent with the Sunni or Shia movements around the world. It was a doctored form that was specifically designed for a people that were in and coming out of enslavement, both mentally and physically. So I think it is very important to make that distinction, and I do believe that that's, you know, Islam is a beautiful global faith, and it shouldn't be characterized based upon you know, classifying any group of people. The Holy Quran says we're all the same in the eyes of God when we're praying. So again, that commonality, that man is equal, is very important. Elijah Muhammad was not a believer in that side of the faith. He taught something that was more designed in his view, and that view has been criticized and also glorified. In both cases, I think in some cases excessively, but it was viewed as trying to re-educate a people that have been enslaved, that they have a glorious past, that they have enormous capabilities. The effort.
Well, you know, the Jewish faith does teach, and I've referenced this quite often lately, Helm's Bakery, that I would pass by frequently when I lived on Venice Beach in California. And the main thoroughfare I used, I passed by Helm's Bakery, and above the door was etched in stone, not hung on a sign, those who forget their past are doomed to repeat it. So right. I think many groups, many sects, many people believe that history has value not only to the present, but to how we design for the
Funny man.
How many of us have them?
Funny man, comedian, actor.
Before we go any further,
Thomas Davidson. Yo, he worse than Paul, he worse than Paul Mooney, man. Real rap. He's
like,
anybody
worse than that?
Bruh, no.
He's Jack Sparrow.
He what?
He's Jack Sparrow.
I don't know who that is. I'm a little.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
No, I knew who it was. I'm just a little. I was playing a little slow just now. Okay. Yo, man. First of all, I gotta say that was a crazy show, man. I gotta be here tomorrow, man.
Man, please come through.
Most definitely, man. You know, it's like I had some stuff in my head already, though. We gonna come from the off the cuff. He just checked out for those that may be listening, and looking at this. He was checking out the science of my shirt.
Of course.
You know,
you got it happening.
You got it happening.
Oh, you got it happening. What we have here is we have the Olmecs, right here.
He don't know nothing about that, man.
That's the Olmecs. So
who are the Olmecs?
Well, the Olmecs are some stone statues that were left in what is today Costa Rica and Panama. But it's proof that the Africans were in Northern America before Columbus. before Columbus and the Americans, which stands to reason because the Moors gave them the navigational instruments and the navigational knowledge to know where that stuff was first. But truthfully, the reason why the Portuguese started the slave trade, it made all the sense in the world because they were the first ones to know that stuff was over there. And Christopher Columbus, as we know of, Christopher Columbus was one of the first actual slavers to go up and down that coast. So it stands to reason. But actually he was lost.
Exactly.
He was lost, and he had Moorish captains, so he didn't know where he was or if he was even going to be able to re-find him. This site right here,
which one
is in the middle. That's Tutankhamun's sarcophagus. You going to have to leave. Okay, you got to leave, baby. You can't be quiet. What's wrong with her?
Come on, let's go.
You got a baby. You can't laugh through this. What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong?
Let's go. Come on.
You gotta go home, but you gotta get out of here.
I gotta go home.
Why?
So funny.
Oh,
You're so funny.
Got her captured.
Talk about
Right, me?
Ah, let me tell you.
Yeah. Where you from, babe?
Brooklyn.
No, your family.
Ethnicity.
Brooklyn, New York.
Ethnicity.
Yeah, American.
No, you're Italian, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
All right. That's what about it.
Okay.
Yes, it's good.
Okay, now
Yeah, because
we're gonna talk
Italians
about
don't
that
understand
because
how
you
black
know what? It's so
that was a spiritual
it is
reaction.
sad. It was sad that
that was a spiritual
you know,
reaction.
this is I know that, and this is like when you were
Right.
saying that she knew it. If I was, it's a movie with
No, innately, she knew.
exactly.
That's all. It wasn't. It has nothing to do with her.
Wow.
It's almost like when you come to a brother and you say, "Hey, man, do you know where the?" I'll give you an example. I got a cab this morning, and I had my bags at the curb, and the black guy from Ethiopia, opened the trunk.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Come on," and I said, "If I have to move my own bags, I'm not tipping you." So when we got to the hotel, he looked at me and I said, "I told you I'm not tipping you," and he looked a little confused. The reason why he was confused was because he didn't understand why he didn't help me with the bags in the first place. And it's what Frantz Fanon, who's one of the foremost psychiatrists and psychologists of our time, who was actually blocked out of the picture, who Malcolm X studied from, Mandela studied from, and Fidel Castro studied from, who died in the late 50s in a hotel room with the CIA in front of it. But he's foremost psychologist, psychiatrist, and he published a book called, well, he has a book that was published of all his work and his essays on the racism that's in European psychologists, Jung and Freud and their theories. Not only that, but he set all the modern reforms that are in mental hospitals these days.
Wow.
So they were set up like prisons. He's the one, it was his idea that you can open them up and let people walk around. He also overthrew the Algerian government while running the top paper in Algeria and treating the revolutionary soldiers in the hospital at the same time. Served in the war and is from Martinique.
You on point, man. I thought you
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted, man.
So,
you think
what
slow,
my
man.
point is that what Frantz Fanon's theory, psychological theory, is that we're in a post-colonial psychology, and what he calls that is an auto-destructional stage, which is the oppressor will oppress for so long that the oppressed no longer have to be physically oppressed. They do it to themselves automatically.
Exactly.
So he was having a psychological response to me, not understanding that it was elicited by what Fanon described. You see what I'm saying? But what it did was it hurt his income. So see, what we do is we hurt ourselves in that way. That's all. And so the same reaction came from her. It's not conscious. It's not conscious. What has happened to us is a lot deeper than conscious, because if it wasn't, we can just figure it out.
So why do you think? I mean, why do you think they hide this from us? I mean, let's think about what you just broke down about the Allman kids. Now, I'm gonna throw something at you.
Okay.
Do you know about Mount Rushmore?
No.
Mount Rushmore, listen to the name. The Rushing of the Moors.
Right.
Mount Rushmore, and you just talked about the Allman
Right.
kids.
Right.
Centuries later, what happens, they're going to say these guys were here before.
Right.
The same way they did with this.
Right.
But we were already here. And it was
Right.
funny that she was sitting there laughing, because there's a movie, I do radio also.
The movie with
and I would
Christopher
love
Walken,
for you to get on
he
this
did the
radio
scene
show
where he
with
said,
me,
"You
man.
black Moors." I saw it.
Exactly. He said the
True romance.
Sicilians were spawned by niggas, and
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Moors
yeah.
are niggas.
True
And
romance.
it's like, why, and they try to
True
suppress
romance.
it. And this is why I love what you said earlier about the whole internet piece, how we're pushing this stuff out on the internet. Also, I don't know, you heard Nas' new album?
No, I haven't.
You got to get it.
Okay.
He said the problem is he started thinking like the colonists. Noble Drew Ali started dropping their consciousness.
Okay.
So what happens? You on point with the whole Moorish piece, and it's like maybe I should throw that out there to you. We need to do a movie on the Moors.
Yeah. Well, that's ironic that you point that out, but that's the epic feature that I want to do.
I'm with you, man.
The epic,
I
and
work with
when
you,
I say
man.
epic feature, I mean the epic feature like you got Gladiator and you got Troy and those movies. Not 300. That was a cartoon.
Yeah.
But
I'm gonna hurt this guy.
Yeah.
He's funny.
I'm talking about historical.
I know.
Like Alexander. And,
Yeah.
And that's one of my first goals is to do the Moors.
Anything
as
you need on
as,
that, let me
as
know.
an epic.
Mm.
As an epic.
Okay.
So that's one of the projects. But back to this. And also Mount Rushmore is actually a knockoff of Ramses' tomb.
Exactly.
And it's a knockoff of the tomb that was actually moved because they were going to flood the Nile, so they moved it. It's actually a knockoff in stone because Africans were the only ones that worked in stone.
Exactly.
Africans taught the world how to work in stone. So it's just really a knockoff, just like the Washington Monument is a knockoff of Queen Hatshepsut's obelisk. Mm. And the obelisk...
That's history, people.
The obelisk from Queen Hatshepsut's actual temple, there are about 4 of them in existence. There's one that was man-made by Benjamin Banneker.
Big Ben Bay.
Right, whose father was actually Dogon. Whose grandfather was Dogon. So he understood astrology and he understood irrigation and he understood those ancient arts. Thusly, that's why he wrote the first American almanac.
Almanac, exactly.
He was able to do that through that knowledge. But the obelisks were placed there by the Masons, who are outgrowth of the Kemetic mystery system.
Exactly.
So
we talking to a scientist, people.
Yeah. So there's interestingly the obelisks. There's one in Washington D.C. Which is a knockoff.
Yeah, we just came from there.
Okay, but there's one in front of the Champs Elysees in Paris. There's one in front of the Vatican. There's one in front of Scotland Yard. There's one in Washington D.C. So how? And there's one in Central Park that no one knows is there. That was dedicated by the Moors. I mean, that was dedicated by the Masons. So here we got millions of Africans from all around the world in New York City, and they don't know that the actual real obelisk that was at Queen Hatshepsut's temple is sitting unguarded, unprotected in Central Park at this moment as we
going nowhere. Y'all ain't got shit to do with me. Fuck out of here. They ain't got no fucking jurisdiction over us. We're Moors, and they know this flag means. They know what this means.
Yeah.
Oh, they know what this means. They ain't dumb. They ain't dumb. They know this right to ground. They swore an oath on this. They took an oath on this. Yeah, they took an oath on this.
This joint's crazy.
No, they swore an oath on this. Yeah, they know. Y'all want to know today?
You don't know today,
right?
huh?
Y'all fictitious fake. That's what the U.S. citizens, they fake. Fictitious. Fake fictitious. That's what y'all want. Y'all got no jurisdiction over us.
Yeah, fuck me.
Sir, they ain't got no jurisdiction. This is our flag. You ain't lying nothing. They can't stop you from doing nothing. They getting ready to get sued. Get out of here. Get your supervisor. Think you is. All this. I ain't under you. None of y'all's jurisdiction. Fuck out of here.
My man going. Pittsburgh, PA.
Fictitious.
Man threw a flag out the stove, though.
I ain't playing this game. Y'all ass is going to jail this time, baby.
He hurt.
On the files on all of y'all. A memorandum. Y'all don't have the oaths and bonds of 1938. Y'all, the shit's going to get thrown out on that alone. The oaths and bonds of 1938 and the foreign registrations.
See, this is what you need to know. Stuff you need to know, fellas. Ladies.
You need to up the game a little bit.
Stuff you need to know.
Going nowhere. They got no jurisdiction over us. None. They ain't got the status. This ain't their land. This is my land. This is my land. I'm a Moor. I'm allowed to travel this land. They swore an oath to this. This is the oath they swore on. They all know it. Need no license. I'm not under y'all's doors. I don't have a contract with y'all. There is no contract with y'all. I was just downtown with this same bullshit. Sorry, motherfucker.
You see, they ain't touch him. You see that, right?
Yeah, I'm a Moor. I got every right to travel from here to Timbuktu. They ain't
Timbuktu.
this. Oh, they want it. They want to be the Jews. They want to be the fake Jews. They know what this means. Oh, you know what this means. Now they're white.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, we ain't going nowhere, baby. We ain't going nowhere.
We got dogs.
No fucking where. Oh yeah, I know you do. I know we get the fuck out of here. Fuck out of here. I ain't paying this, so don't even give. I'm not taking it. Hey, look here. No, man. Look, we don't go for their ordinances. We don't play their bullshit game. Fuck out of here. Play no bullshit game with these fake cops. They're fake and fictitious. Entity, corporation. That's what they stand for. That's why their women love us. Love us.
He hurt.
Nothing. Man, they ain't giving you shit. They ain't gonna do a fucking thing. Motherfuckers ain't gonna do shit. They ain't gonna do a motherfucking thing. Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here.
Man, we got backed up traffic out this bitch. Motherfucker, Pittsburgh police out this bitch. Like, this shit ain't no joke, dog. My man threw the flag out the fucking whip. Fuck you. This shit funny as hell. Yeah, I'm recording all this because this shit right here is like, whoa. Like, rob out this bitch. Yeah. I'm gonna get educated today because they ain't touched that man. You see that? They ain't touched him. Ain't pulled a pistol or nothing.
I'm not no government employee of theirs. I ain't under none of their fucking jurisdiction. We're Moors. Remember that. We're Moors. We ain't got no fucking jurisdiction over us. And I got Article 6 right here. Look, they go to Peace Treaty. Look, and all they want to know, they go Article 6 right here.
Man, they pulled out all the laws. Oh my God.
They go Article 6. I'm supposed to be set free in liberty, motherfucker. Get the fuck out of here. They go Article 6 right here in the
chain with it.
I'll sue the fuck out of them.
Off
Fuck
the
out of here.
chain.
Bullshit.
Oh my goodness. He ain't even playing with him. Like, you see the flag? Dude.
And y'all know it. They know it. We just don't know it. We don't
Oh,
know
I know it.
Because they ain't going to do shit.
Think I don't know it?
Guys, they're going to Peace Street. What part of Article 6 and I ain't trying to shit? No. Oh, yeah. Good. Yeah, I ain't signing shit. I'm not signing
He said I ain't signing
No, I'm
shit.
not signing nothing.
I ain't signing
I'm
nothing.
not signing nothing.
I'm not signing
I
nothing.
don't have no jurisdiction.
Jurisdiction, none.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Exactly. Throw it in the tail of my bitch. I ain't paying shit. Shit. Fuck out of here. Shit. Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here.
They don't even know what the fuck to say. Like, these motherfuckers is lost.
Y'all ain't got no right to
They don't even know what to say,
Fuck out
dog.
of here. Get your bus. Get the white one. Go get the white shirt. I don't want none of that shit. I'm not taking that. I'm not being the toss at all. You want fictitious fake motherfucker.
Fictitious.
I'm not taking none of that shit. I tell you they ain't gonna do shit. I give a fuck. I ain't got no fuck.
I guess a fuck.
I'm gonna tell them from here to Timbuktu. You see that? Oh, don't worry, I will.
Oh my God. Dude is killing me. Oh, you ain't know about this? Oh, you tripping.
We got noble rights. Sure, they going to jail.
Yeah.
Noble rights. Civil rights is for them.
Yeah, you tripping. This real shit. This ain't no bullshit.
Look at what I tell you.
Oh.
Hey, tell you what, buddy.
I was giving a flag.
No, I'm not. They look here.
Somebody safety. He ain't gonna do nothing to me. That man ain't gonna do nothing to me. I'm one of him. You think he gonna do something to me? Get the fuck up out of here. Hey.
Thanks, man. They knew that. They knew that shit. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
My man gone on him. Bye-bye, Pittsburgh.
See, everybody needs to.
You got like six cars on this show for what? Fuck up out of here. Bye-bye. You got like 1,000 cameras out this joint too. So they ain't try nothing. They ain't try nothing. Yeah. You got like 6 cars out this joint for what? Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. So bye-bye. All y'all. Yeah. The fuck on. Fuck on, my man. You swole like hell. Hey, what's that Pittsburgh talk? Swole. I like that. I like that. Swole like hell. Get the fuck out of here.
They gonna just try to find them. They said there was too many cameras. We can't do nothing
Yeah.
out here. And they made us try to go.